Today on Ballistic Barbecue, I'm going to be cooking up two beautiful racks of dino beef ribs on the Argentine grill. Let's get going. And here are those beautiful, gigantic racks of ribs here. Just look how thick those are. This one here is right under 7 pounds, and I think this one's just a little bit lighter, but they're both very close in weight. Now these ribs were sent to me by Porter Road, and I met these guys, the owners of Porter Road, back in 2017 in Nashville, Tennessee, at their butcher shop that they were running out there. And that's when they first kind of started entering the online market. And I can tell you, they take a lot of pride in the way their animals are raised. They're all pasture raised in Kentucky and Tennessee, no hormones, no antibiotics. They hand cut all their meat on site, and they're also dry aging their own meat. They're talking to one of the owners. They put a huge emphasis on keeping the stress levels of the cattle down. And actually, less stress means better meat, happier animals. Kind of the philosophy is their animals are going to have one bad day in their entire life, and that's pretty good. That's kind of leaning towards the philosophy that the Japanese have in raising their animals. And I can tell you, some of the best meat you're ever going to have. I'll have a link down below. They have some really great deals going on right now, and yeah, highly recommend Porter Road. Let's get the season in this beef plate ribs. So I'm going very simple. I'm not using any binder or anything. And the bottom, I mean, they're not peeled. So we're just going to go ahead, just going to hit it with some pepper. It's just for the sake of seasoning it, really, the bottom of the back side of the ribs here. I'm not going to go too heavy on the back side. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to use some pink Himalayan sea salt. Meat side, I'm going pretty heavy with the black pepper. And you can see these they're pre-trimmed. Porter Road, by the way, they deliver nationwide. And I forgot to mention this, Bon Appetit put them in the top 5 of all the butcheries in the country, which is pretty impressive. And again, Himalayan pink sea salt. I guess it's pink Himalayan sea salt. You get the picture. This is going to be really good. And there we are, all seasoned and ready to go. The grill's almost where I want it to be as far as the bed of coals. As soon as it's ready, I'll meet you at the pit. So I'm using my Sunterra Pro Argentine grill today. Starting off with a bed of lump charcoal, but I also have my Rio Bracero burning. And that Rio Bracero is what is going to keep this cook going. We're cooking on a grill, we're cooking live fire, we're cooking big, thick pieces of beef. We're still going to go low and slow, just as if we were cooking on an offset smoker. And this is one of my all-time favorite ways of cooking. As far as wood, again, hardwood lump down below, probably, I'm guessing, mainly oak. And then the splits that I'm going to be burning are hickory, because that's what I have on hand. Let's start cooking. Get these on the grill here. Just gonna lower this a bit. I'm going to put the Versa lid in place. So this lid is about as simple as it gets, but basically what it's doing is just causing some of that smoke and heat to loiter underneath here with these big, beautiful racks of ribs. So now all we're going to do is make sure that the fire is fed. We're going to keep the splits going, keep the good bed of coals underneath the meat, and as far as controlling the temperatures, we'll raise, lower the grate as needed, and also push or pull coals underneath the meat as needed. This is really just a lot by feel. There's no, temperature gauges or anything involved here. As I start seeing pullback, evidence that the meat is really starting to render out and get cooked, I'll use a meat probe just to test for tenderness, see where we're at. but it's going to be a long day, but a fun day. Okay, we are 2 hours into this cook now, and what I'm going to do is flip the ribs. Everything's been running great. We're already starting to get some nice pullback on the bones here, but we're not in a offset pit. We need to flip this meat. So as you can see, I have it up pretty high. With that lid on, another thing that's happening is, you know, the fire from the bracero is heating up the metal here, so it's turning into like an oven inside, which is nice. I have just a small pile of coals directly underneath the grill here, and I'm going to be lowering the grate. So what I'm going to do is push all those coals away. Now we'll go ahead and lower this, and the reason I'm lowering it is so I have clearance for the lid. Pull the lid off, nothing major. All right, so I'll pull this off. So looking good. You can see they're swelling up like a tri-tip does. Nice. Get that lid back on. I'll raise it back up. So nothing really changes at this point. Keeping the bracero fed so that the bracero is feeding the bed of coals, making sure that I have you know, a nice bed but not too many coals directly underneath the grate here. And every once in a while, it's more for curiosity, I check it with my thermopin, and again we're maintaining 230, 240 degrees Fahrenheit. Other than that, we're just looking for probe tenderness on the ribs. See you in a bit. All right, we've been at this cook now for 5 hours. We are getting close, real close, but we're not quite there yet. What I want to do now is flip those ribs over again. So again, I just like to push the coal bed away from the center when I lower this thing like this. So as you can see, we got some great pullback happening. I just want to let them get a little bit more tender. So get that dome back in place. Raise the grates. We're almost done. I mean, I'm giving this another 20 or 30 minutes and we'll be done. It's rendered a lot of fat. I mean, this reservoir here is almost completely full of that beef fat. So it's breaking down really nice, and they are very tender. I just want them to get a little bit more tender. It's gonna be good. 20 minutes later, these ribs are done. I'm making the executive decision to pull them. They are plenty tender now. Still need to get my gloves on. And here they are. Nice crust, pullback's beautiful, smells really good, and just look at all that fat that's rendered out. These things have been rendering. So now I'm just going to pull these from the pit, wrap them in foil, and I'm going to let them rest a bit before we slice them up and give them a try, and I'm excited about this. And here we are. It's rested and smelling unbelievably good. Right now, it's lunchtime right now. I'm doing this one rack. I'm going to cut this rack for you guys. The other rack we're having for dinner later. So it's foiled and in a cooler right now. Let's see what we got going on. Wow, definitely tender, and we've definitely got a crust here. Now I'm going to tell you right now before I open this up for presentation, do not expect a smoke ring. Very rarely. You may get a trace of a smoke ring, but it's not like cooking in an offset pit. The smoke is passing by. It's getting too much like fresh air. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Yeah, it's tender. All right. So I could pick it up like a caveman. Look at all this juice. So juicy. It's like butter. Now, it's definitely a different flavor. Gosh, it's tender. Than what you get from an offset pit. There's you get smoke flavor, but it's not the deep smoke that you get again from cooking in an offset. It's more of a combination of smoked and grilled. That's the best way I can describe it. This beef is amazing. Dry aged. Crazy tender. There's such high quality fat on here. It's just coating the inside of my mouth with goodness. It just keeps getting better and better. I'll have a link down below for Porter Road. Check them out. Again, they deliver nationwide. And right now, I was checking out their site. They have some good deals going on, so don't be late. Thank you, Porter Road, for sponsoring this video. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that sub button, ring the notification bell, and thumb it up if you like it. I hope you did. Keep those suggestions coming in. I appreciate those very much. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.